This is the MST Board of Director February 10th meeting. Good morning and thank you everyone for joining us here today. I see the boardroom looks pretty full and so welcome. We'll move on to I'll ask, is there any directors joining us via Zoom? No. Okay.
All here.
Okay, so everyone's here. With that, we'll move on to public participation. This public comments.
We want to do a roll call first?
Well, I'm just not yet there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Excuse me.
Not- So this meeting is being held via Zoom and also here in the conference room. And you may attend by telephone by dialing 669-968-33 using the same meeting ID code 84500836234 as the Zoom number with the passcode 652252. To ensure stability in today's meetings, the public is encouraged to engage in respectful dialogue that supports freedom of speech and values diversity of opinion. Failure to engage in respectful dialogue will forfeit the speaker's right to participate in public comment. Members of the public attending the meeting in person, you will be, you may speak as soon as we go into public comment on the agenda items or during public communications. With that, I'll go ahead and move over to roll call.
City of Carmel by the Sea.
Here.
City of Delray Oaks.
Here.
City of Gonzales.
Here.
City of Greenfield. Here. City of King.
Present.
City of Marina.
Here.
City of Monterey.
Here.
City of Pacific Grove.
Here.
City of Sand City.
Here.
City of Salinas.
We're here.
City of Seaside.
Here.
City of Soledad.
Here.
And County of Monterey.
Present.
Thank you. You have to come.
Okay, thank you. And at this time, I would like to ask Director Pacheco if he would lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance since it's his birthday month.
We join their pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It was gone.
Thanks.
Make a difference. Too old.
Like you're 39.
Yeah, 30, yeah, 93 maybe.
And at this time, we'll move on to agenda highlights. Carl?
Thank you, Chair. You'll see a very large consent agenda because we didn't have a regular business meeting last month. So we're making up for that this month. You'll see that you have the notes from our strategic planning board workshop on page 53. Then we have our usual, we have double duties of recognition on the employee of the month. We have several claims that to be rejected on pages 65 through 69. We do ask also on 312, there's measure 2 oversight committee members with some familiar names to you of people who are volunteered to be on the committee, which I'm pleased to see. And then we have asking you for your authorization to sign some community development block grant documents. We have a resolution to for appreciation of Ana Velasquez from Soledad, who's leaving our board, and then authorization to purchase some non-revenue vehicles, service vehicles, and then again authorization for me to execute grants with the FTA related to a recent program award partnership with Hartnell College and a tap to pay program with their college IVs on pages 81. That concludes my review of the consent agenda.
Okay, thank you, Carl. With that, we'll move on to public comments on matters not on today's agenda. So at this time, Any member of the public may address the board of directors on items not appearing on today's agenda. Speakers have a limit of 3 minutes for your comments. And the board will not respond immediately, but may choose to follow up later individually or through staff. So at this time, public comment is open. Good morning.
Jim, you're ready to go?
Yes,
Okay, you're ready to speak.
yes. I'm Jim Fink. I've been a writer of MST now for 28 years. And very quickly, I would like to ask whoever's in charge of such things to restore the service on the 43 South Main to East San Joaquin Street to Pajaro Street to Romy Lane. There's two churches involved, St. Paul's on San Miguel and Pajaro, and St. Ansgar's on San Joaquin and Pajaro that have lost service. So I would like to see that restored. Also, I would like to see the 20 or the 59 line extended from Gilroy nonstop to the new North San Jose Berryessa BART station on Berryessa Station Way in San Jose. There's a number of people, including myself, who regularly use BART and would appreciate having MST connecting to BART. And so I'd like to see that happen. Also, I would like to see replacement from the cutaway buses with regular buses. The cutaways are very difficult to board and deboard. Even when I'm not using my walker and I'm using the regular, the steps are terrible on those cutaways. So I would like to see the regular coaches serve the areas that currently have the cutaways. Thank you.
Thank you.
Got his comments.
Okay, with that, any public comment is still open? Anyone in the conference room at this time? Seeing none, I am via Zoom, Carl, I don't believe.
I do not see any hands raised on Zoom.
Okay. With that, we'll go ahead and close public comment. And at this time, I would like to recognize Sand City's new MST representative alternate, Ms. Chalet Adams. She's here visiting, so. Okay, welcome, Michelle.
Thank you.
Okay,
Well,
with that, we'll move on to consent calendar, and at this time, the consent calendar consists of routine items which may be taken with a single motion or vote. There are items 3.1 through 3.16. And at this time, do any of the directors wish to pull an item for separate consideration?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and which item would that be? Director
3.12.
Amelia. 3.12. Okay. Any other directors, any other items you may want to pull at this time? Okay, shall we go ahead and hear 3.12 first?
Absolutely.
Actually, I was thinking of voting no on Dan Albert, but I've reconsidered.
Oh. Okay,
So we could avoid this 3.12.
Oh.
so you would not like to have 3.12 pulled in order to punk your brother-in-law.
Okay, okay, I got you.
Yep.
Okay, so with that, we have items 3.1 through 3.16. Did I open this up to public comment?
Yeah, not yet.
So public comment is open on this item.
I do not see anyone online
I'll move
seeking.
approval.
to speak. Second.
Second, okay.
Okay.
With
We-
objections, I really wanted to hear Joe.
I gotta keep that 10:36.
Okay.
Yeah.
With that, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion carried. We'll move on next to recognitions and special presentations 4.1 through 4.4. Is Anna here?
You said she'd be here at 10:15. It is 10:15.
Okay.
Missed the bus.
Okay.
We can move on to.
Yeah, let's,
The rodeo.
we'll move on to
Awards.
item 4.2
Those won't take
and
long.
wait a few minutes and see if Anna, till Anna gets here. And with that, Carl
Or Kelly?
or Kelly?
I'm just gonna hold him.
You're gonna hold them, okay. So for those board members who attended, we had our second, what I have deemed the Board of Directors Bus Rodeo, ROADEO. And unlike last year, we were able to get a trophy for the person who knocked down the least number of cones, who was also our most improved, because last year they knocked over, well, they knocked over the second most amount of cones. The person who knocked over the most amount of cones this year declined to participate. However, our winner of the Board of Directors Bus Rodeo 2025 is Mr. Mike Labar. Mayor. So we know what actually happened. Okay, here we go. You got the tiny steering wheel. So for those members of the public who don't understand what our bus rodeo is, we take took our board of directors out to our basic skills training course and set that up. So they got to go through, make some turns, go through some diminishing cones, and had to stop the bus without launching our trainer, Danny Mariana, through the windshield. But and I have to safe to say that did not happen. Now, for the person who harmed the most cones, we have a special bottle of Orange Crush. We thought would be appropriate, and that would be our vice chair, Lorraine Worthy. So, thank you, Lorraine. Well, perhaps next year you can follow Mike's lead
Exactly.
and become our most improved.
I have a great appreciation for our bus drivers, for sure.
And I want to thank Kelly Halcon for, I didn't even know they made Orange Crush anymore.
Me neither, I was just gonna say that.
I threw that out as an idea.
I know there's some
And
kids.
she was at, I don't know, some grocery store and said, they have Orange Crush here. Buy it. So that concludes.
Why did I know it was gonna be me?
Oh, Anna is here, great. So that concludes the bus rodeo section. Yes, sir.
No, and I just want to say, this is what the training of MST staff can help you do.
Yes.
You went from worst to first.
Yeah.
Very cool.
You're now
Kind of like the
qualified to
Detroit
apply.
Lions almost of,
So there's a chance for me to win it next year.
there is.
All right.
Yeah, you got it, right?
Yes, I know, I know.
Or you can win that one again.
There you go.
Or get a smash burger.
Oh, that's- maybe
Oh, that
that's
would be
next
better.
year.
Because then we'll all want to lose.
Anna is here.
Okay, well, congratulations. Both of you.
Thank you for participating, and there is a short video. We're unable to play it. I found out due to technical issues, we'd have to, people online would not be able to see the video, so after closed session, if those of you who want to spend some time, we've got, it is under 2 minutes. A little fun video montage of what was going on on the training course, including we also had some fire safety and had the board members actually putting out some fires, because that's what staff also does here on a regular basis. So you got some training on how to put out fires, real fires, not political ones. So that'll be right after our closed session. If we, and those who are interested in come back in, we'll put the video up for you.
Okay, sounds fun.
Yeah, it is. It was a fun.
It was fun.
Okay, with that, I will move on to 4.1. And this is recognition and appreciation for Anna Velasquez. And so we do have Anna is here, and we do have something for Anna. I'll just gonna read a little bit about the resolution that we have passed. So whereas Anna Velasquez served on the board of directors of the Monterey Salinas Transit District between February 2017 and December 2024, and whereas Anna Velasquez served as chair of the board of the Monterey Salinas Transit District from July 2022 through June 2024, and whereas Anna Velasquez, chair of the Board of Monterey Salinas Transit, oversaw implementation of the Better Bus Network, which resulted in lower fares, faster travel times, and increases in passenger boarding and new fixed routes in the communities of Gonzales, Soledad, and King City. And whereas Anna Velasquez proceeded over the Board of Chairs adoption of a free fare zone within the community of Pajaro to assist recovery events from historic floodings. And whereas Anna Velasquez, through her advocacy efforts, helped in this securement of 52 million of state of California SB 125 funds to support countywide bus and rail transit projects, and 22.2 million federal campaign investment grant funds for the busway and bus transit project. Whereas Anna Velasquez, through her advocacy efforts, helped to the in the securement of permits and agreements from local cities and state departments and commissions for bus and rapid bus transit project. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the board of directors gives Anna Velasquez its sincerest thanks and appreciation for her service as a member of the MST board and for her continued dedication to Monterey Salinas Transit and the communities that we serve. The board of directors of Monterey Salinas Transit passed this and adopted this resolution today. And so it's hot right off the press.
Yes.
And so we want to thank you, Anna, from the bottom of our hearts. And I thank you as me coming in as co-chair with you, and for everything, how you helped to mentor me to step into this position. So with that,
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you. Thank you. And if I can say a few words, yeah, thank you so much. And thank you for Chair and Board of Directors for allowing me the opportunity to be here. As you know, we're public servants. We get elected by our communities to serve. So I think it's a nature for all of us to be public servants. And as you know, we all, everybody, I think everybody does this in December. We, as the city of Soledad, did all of our committee appointments, and we changed our committee appointments. And I know after 8 years of serving on this board, we change our rotations. And I know now you have our Mayor Pro Tem, Mr. Cabrera, who's serving here with you, which I'm excited about, because I know that he's going to continue the good work that we've been doing on this board. So excited about the rotation and to give other members an opportunity to continue to see the great work that the board of MST has continued to do. So it's been an incredible journey, 8 years serving on this board. And, we've gone through, the fires that we had, we've gone through the COVID pandemic, and we've had many journeys together. We've had a lot of agreements and disagreements. And at the end of the day, it's come to how do we better serve the community, and we've gone through a comprehensive, a long 2 years of a comprehensive analysis that really brought a lot of different services to South Monterey County, the micro transit, the SURF project. So it's been an honor to serve on this board, and I really wanted to make sure that I was here as well to be able to thank the board, but also to thank the staff. I think for me, the last 8 years has also been an incredible journey and opportunity to learn from the team. And so I just wanted also to share a few words to be able to, to thank the staff for giving me the opportunity also to learn about transit. So I want to make sure that I thank Lisa for paving the way for women in executive leadership roles in transit across the country, which I've learned that are still very underrepresented. And I also want to thank Lisa, thank you for sharing the amazing baking skills, and I hope one day to be able to bake like you. Callie, thank you for keeping us risk-free and making us aware of the possible liabilities and challenges. Coming from working at the Housing Authority, you were definitely trained and equipped to handle tough situations and prepared for presenting solutions that are practical. And so thank you so much for sharing also with me the concerns of our drivers. I know that you made me imagine the day of having just being in the shoes of our drivers, especially our women drivers. And so thank you for making me really understand the commitment that our drivers have to our residents. So thank you so much. Ikuyo, you and I graduated from Leadership Monterey County. So thank you for always humanizing also our transit drivers and putting the faces of our drivers, our residents, our employees in the forefront. Michelle, thank you for always reminding us of the importance of regulations and compliance. I know that's always critical. Norm, thank you for the many conversations about electric versus hydrogen. Where's Norm? Is he here? And thank you for the conversations about whether we would really be able to meet the goal, the state's electrification goals. Thank you for encouraging me to play the many scavenger and hunt games that we played at conferences and letting me copy your answers. Jeanette, thank you for always sending me reminders and messages and keeping me on track. Carl, just, for you, thank you for all the support, the debates we had. Thank you for encouraging me to be at the CTA conferences, at the FTA conferences, helping me to understand how important transit is, the systems that we have, the opportunities that we have to really make transit part of our communities as we're developing and planning, to be able to really make sure that we're serving our most vulnerable and underserved populations. And to the board, thank you so much for continuing the work before us as we continue to serve. To Veronica and all the other staff, thank you. We'll miss you. I'll miss you, but I know that this board will continue to do the great work that lies ahead of us. Thank you.
Yeah, Frank, you want to join us? I thought those flowers were for me. Thank you, you were appointed to the member two committee this morning, so. So you're not. You're not. There we go. And here is your beautiful resolution.
Maybe. We got them.
Let's stay in the chair. Take a picture.
Okay, thank you.
We're close.
Thank you.
If I may, speaking from my perspective, Anna has helped me a great deal, and I know she will continue to do so since we're only a few miles apart. So that's always a good thing. Thank you, Anna.
Okay, any board members at this time? Any board members like to say something?
Yeah, I just want to express my tremendous appreciation for the work she did as chair and also as a director. Anna, you've represented not only South County, but the whole county very well. And just proud of what you've done here. So thank you.
Madam Chair.
Yes,
Go ahead.
yes, Tony.
I just want to thank Ana. I mean, not only to be mayor of Soledad, it was not an easy task for her, but she believed in her community. Eres una chingona, de veras. I mean that, where you, as I've seen you, you've been a great public servant. You highlight your city very well. And just what you did for the staff here today, I appreciate that because they're the ones that do the heavy lifting. We're the ones that sit here and we vote on it and we move on, but to recognize people not only in your city, but the work that you've done throughout South County and the work that you'll continue doing in Measure Q. I just want to thank you for being a friend. And thank you for your 8 years here.
Yes, I want to thank Anna for not only for all the work that she does, but for the mentorship and the leadership that she shares with everybody. I in particular, like you, been mentored by her, and yes, like she said, sometimes we don't agree in things, but there's something that she brings into the table, and that is consistency, transparency, and honesty. And I think that those are things that I cherish a lot, and I cherish her leadership, and I hope I can do at least a quarter of the things that she did in this place. And thank you so much for this.
And thank you very much for what you've done and everything. I feel sorry for you. You're gonna be with Dan Albert on this. But anyway, thank you very much. And it's great to see the advocacy for South County. It's very, very important. But thank you again, Anna.
I'd like to just echo what everybody has said. Thank you for always being welcoming of, you know, mentoring a newbie when I came on and, you know, trying to learn everything. And you are an inspiration and somebody that has accomplished so much in your own right. And to see a fellow Latina woman doing what you're doing is very inspiring. And I appreciate you just being here and doing everything that you do for our South County residents.
I just want to say, Anna, thank you for your work. When you talk about her honesty, and that's what it is, it's honesty, it's hard work. You have big heart and you always show it. And I appreciate that. And I felt like when you were on this board as a chair, you were really good at really analyzing many of the items that we were going through. You asked questions, you were clearly well-read, well-educated on things. And so I've always appreciated your hard work that you do. So thank you very much for being a good role model for all of us. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you, Anna. With that, we'll move on to item 4.3, the January employee of the month, Ursula Scardina, and Akio will be giving a presentation.
Good morning, chair, staff, members of the board and community. I think there's a slide up. Great, thank you. So it's really a pleasure to be here this morning to recognize Ursula Scardina as our employee of the month for January. You can see some of the great work she's done. That's only a little bit of it. Ursula is really a special member of our marketing team. You know, she supports various teams, projects, initiatives, internally, externally. And, you know, we know that successful projects don't happen because of one person. It's collaborative. It takes a team, and she is a very important part of that team. So you can see her primary focus is social media. It's super important in our communication strategy. You know, it just allows us to be quick, to be nimble, to communicate with our community, whether it's a detour or some, you know, larger issue, but it also allows us to have some fun. And she's been able to do that, you know, doing some fun trends and just keeping MST really relatable. You know, MST to a lot of people is a bus, but there's people behind that bus. We are the people behind that bus. You guys are the people behind that bus. And so she allows them to connect with us and for us to connect with them. And it's a relationship. And you need to, take that relationship seriously and work at it because we really need the community's support, their engagement to do what we do. But having said all that about social media, her work goes beyond that. The strategy that goes behind the posts, the reels, the stories is pretty important. Not just what you're going to post, when you're going to do it. What's the tone you're going to try to strike with that? Because you can say a lot, but if the people aren't receiving it, you could be saying nothing. And so I think she's been really successful in really connecting with our community. So in addition to all the actual hard work that she does, she's just a joy to work with. The great attitude, the positivity that she brings to the team, it just makes coming here even more fun. And we do it together. We connect with our community together. We build this team together. And so I'm so happy and so proud of her. And I really, I'm so happy to be here presenting her with the January Employee of the Month Award. So.
And I want to thank Ursula for coming here and teaching me how to speak to our younger audience, so I can give them the drip on transit and to be bussing. I hope this gets on video because my kids will be horrified. But thank you, Ursula. It's important that we speak in a way that's meaningful and relevant, and she helps do that in a way that I absolutely cannot. I've just demonstrated. So with that, Ursula, I want to make certain that you get your Employee of the Month pen and your Employee of the Month resolution adopted by the board earlier, and then you've already got your check, I hope. And if you have any words to share, you're welcome to now. Thank you.
Just want to say thank you. It's been it was an honor to be selected, and it was an honor to be back to the team. And this MST always been supportive and encouraged me to do this kind of communication. Sometimes it's scary. I don't want to upset anyone, but people been supportive, and I really appreciate to grow in this team. I also want to say special thanks to my team, Veronica, Ikuyo, and Lisa, and also to my peers that say more yeses than no. And without them being in front of the camera, it would be really hard to have, the social media posts online. Yes, so thank you.
There we go.
It's all in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Ursula's the one that usually
Okay.
takes pictures.
Can we just stay here and do the next one, Chair? We have, because it's of the January board workshop, we're doing 2 employees a month. So now we have our February employee of the month, and those members who are at the board of directors rodeo will remember Danny, Mariana, and Jared will be.
All right, Madam Chair and directors of the board, good morning again. Today I have Daniel Marilana, the February 2025 Employee of the Month. Daniel started his career at MST on October of 2007 as a coach operator. And during that time, he served as a valued member of the line instructor program, which is a part of the training program, and then behind the wheel trainer. So Daniel is no stranger to training, as you may well know. He was promoted to the transit trainer position on 2021 of October. And then we just more recently promoted him again to the safety and training officer in July of 2024. Most recently, though, Daniel was instrumental in the implementation of the Line 40 Express to Rancho Cielo. Daniel performed multiple safety checks. It's kind of funny. We thought the ridership would be low. Actually, they ended up needing bigger buses, so he kept going back and back and back with the larger buses. But he also helped with the operations department making sure that employees received training, that they were familiar with the Rancho Cielo routing, and that their concerns were addressed, as this was new service that dealt with students as opposed to our traditional service. He also worked with our planning department in making sure that the infrastructure was built for the bus stops, and then making sure that the routing that we perceived to be safe was implemented in that left and right turn list. And then Daniel even went above and beyond. On the first day he showed up. No one asked him to. He was there at the Line 40 Rancho Cielo Express with the students, answering questions with the drivers, making sure they felt supported. Daniel just went above and beyond in the line of duty on this call. And so with that, we want to congratulate Daniel, and we just appreciate all of your service. It's such a pleasure working with you guys.
Not much more can be said. You just heard it, safety is our number one priority. And folks like Daniel and Jared that make that come to fruition. So Daniel, without further ado, here's your Employee of the Month pen and your resolution. And you've received your check already. So the most important thing. So why don't you come over here if you have a few words to the board?
Yeah, I'd just like to express my gratitude to MST and to Jared for believing in me. I've grown a lot here. I started here at a very young age and I became very mature and I took on a lot of roles, and that's my weakness. My weakness is saying no. I can't say no. So I say yes to everything. I bring in too much work and then I end up figuring out, and then I talk to Jared and say, okay, I need to delegate this. And that's why I have an awesome team that supports me as well. And so therefore, this wouldn't be possible without the support of my family, of course. And I continue to be here probably another 20 years. So,
Yeah, okay.
I don't know if you guys are best graders, but he's the best one around. They did pretty good on the dragon course. Yes.
Okay, well, it's Dramamine for the next one.
Yeah.
That concludes our recognition. I believe.
That does. We do not have any public hearings. We do have action items that we'll move on to. Item 6.1. And this is to award a contract for paratransit and fixed route transit on page 83 in your agenda. And this is 6.1. And with that, Norm is going to give us a presentation.
Yes, thank you, board. Chair Carbone, members of the board, thank you for the opportunity to be here before you. As Director or Chair Carbone mentioned, this is in your packet, page 83 of your packet. I'd like to direct your attention there. Also want to point out that along with myself, Stephen Bruno, our purchasing agent, is here. And also Kevin Allshouse, he's also here. He's the contract services manager who oversees our current contract with MV Transportation. As you know, MST contracts with MV Transportation to deliver approximately 40% of our public transit services. These services includes the Rides Paratransit program, our South County circulators, and other fixed route services delivered with the cutaway buses that MST owns. As part of this transportation services agreement, MST provides the buses, the facility, the fuel, and other materials and services. In turn, MV provides the workforce to maintain our buses, to operate our buses, and to manage the workforce. They also manage and operate our rides call center, where they take the calls. They dispatch the rides paratransit program, and then they also schedule the services. You'll recall back in July of 2022, this board approved a contract for MV to operate these services at a cost of a little more than $56 million. In the spring of 2024, MV requested an increase of approximately $3 million per year. This board directed us to issue a new RFP with the understanding that the recent price inflation realized would most likely result in an overall increase to operate these services. We issued the RFP the following month in July of 2024. MST received proposals from 3 qualified firms. Staff conducted an evaluation through our purchasing agent, Stephen Bruno. The results of the evaluation are summarized in this table that you'll find on page 3. We're here to answer your questions. We also want to point out and appreciate that, want to also recognize and appreciate MV for their long-term partnership that we've had. I think we've had them for more than 15, 20 years, something like that. So they've provided steady service for us. We've had some ups and downs as contractors provide services. This is normal business. Also want to point out lastly that when a new contracted transportation service provider is awarded a contract such as ours, they're required to recognize the bargaining unit that represents the employees that are existing and currently employed by MV as coach operators, and I believe their maintenance as well. During this procurement, a new collective bargaining agreement was negotiated between MV Transportation and the Teamsters Local 856. That resulted in higher wages that were being paid out currently today by MV Transportation. So I'm here along with Stephen Bruno and Kevin Allshouse to answer any questions you may have.
Okay, thanks, Norm.
And we also have representatives from TransDev here in the audience as well. If there are specific questions.
Okay. At this time, directors, are there any questions at this time? Tony?
Mr. Tuiki, I want to understand this correctly. Are the current drivers, they'll be able to stay on?
Yeah. So my understanding is that they are required to stay on for 90 days with the new contractor, after which, I don't know exactly what happens from there, but they are required to be hired. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Do you know how many drivers there is?
I believe it's 75, about 75, and the maintenance employees another 15. Yeah. So probably about 90 total frontline operators and mechanics, roughly.
Thank you. And just one last question, Madam
Sure.
Chair. I know Director Velasquez had acknowledged the female administrators as well. Any idea how many female drivers there are in that organization?
I do not.
Okay.
No.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Okay, Director Alejo and then Director LeVar.
Go ahead, Mayor.
Director LeVar.
Just a couple questions. One is looking over the proposals. I think staff actually came up with a really good recommendation. It's fairly clear cut. But over the years, we've had, when complaints have come against the paratransit, a lot of it was based on, to me, I remember 2 categories, was the on-time performance portion of it and then driver behavior. So I'm assuming those things were discussed with TransDev, and knowing that we'll have the drivers from MV at there too, there'd be either additional training or additional discussions to ensure that those concerns that were brought forward to this board over the last few years are going to be addressed.
Absolutely. Yeah. During the TransDev's proposals evaluation, they came and they actually sat down with us and we did interviews on site with all 3. Within their, I guess their proposal, they explained to us how they're going to address that and how they're going to train their operators. But these are ongoing discussions that we'll have with any contractor.
Okay.
Yeah, we meet with them bi-weekly. We talk about performance, KPIs, things like that. We also talk about the complaints that we receive, and then we look for follow-up action on all those items.
Thank you, Nora.
Any other directors? Director Alejo.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, TransDev, they have collective bargaining agreement? For the employees?
They're here today, yeah, and they're shaking their head, yes. I don't know,
All right.
I'm sorry, what was the question there?
Whether the new contractors, they're under a collective bargaining agreement for their employees. And the reason I bring that up, because obviously for those 100 employees, there's a lot of uncertainty. They get the 90 days, but it's up to the new employer whether they're gonna keep them on or not. And also that their wages went up because of a collective bargaining process, and now, as part of our factoring in, with their increased costs to maintain this contract, we're also looking to, make a change here, as well. So that's where I'm concerned about, you know, they engage in their negotiations. They're asking for more money to keep up with the cost of living. But now we're dropping them after having done this service for us for the last 15 years or so.
It is absolutely, MV has been a partner for about 20 years, just shy of 20 years with MST. But they have been subject to competitive procurements throughout that time and have provided the lowest cost in the 3 or 4 bids that we have gone through. And had they not done so, our staff would have probably, depending on the evaluation scores, if they had the highest evaluation score and the lowest cost in those bids, we would have selected a new contractor. Then it's not unusual in this industry to change contractors. I think it's more unusual for a case like MST, where we've had a single contractor for 20 years. That's more unusual in this industry than changing. I've seen transit operators in other parts of the state, every contract,
Every 3 or 4 years.
every 4 or 5 years, select a new one of these 3, and they just cycle through. We've had this stability, but this is the way the evaluations and the cost proposals came down. So we're required to go through this competitive process by the Federal Transit Administration and the state. So that is why staff's recommendation is what it is.
And may I ask, what union is, MV is under Teamster District 6 and Transdev, what's their union?
Stay the same.
Stay the same.
Yeah,
okay.
so they'll, my understanding is they'll recognize the current
Yeah,
bargaining
all right,
unit. Yeah.
That's good enough.
Director Pacheco, and then we'll go to Director Smith.
Yeah, just a concern, when MV has a lot of local employees, some of them live close to all of us, and that's unfortunate, especially 20 years is almost a career. Can Transdev speak to about after the 90 days, what's their vision, and are they local, at least, and things associated, so we can have a little bit, I can have a little bit of assurance of their people matter, and when you're around for 20 years as an organization, and I know some drivers been around for 10 or 15, it's tough. And so can they speak to those questions, those simple?
Yeah, I believe they.
So let's
Sure.
have,
That's appropriate.
let's have him come up to the podium and maybe address a couple questions. There was also a question regarding women drivers.
Sure.
Okay, so we'll start with Director Pacheco's question.
And just to introduce myself, my name is W.C. Peel. I'm our Senior Vice President of Business Development, and I handle all our business development across the United States. So I think the first question was, how many unions do we have of our workforce? About 80% of our operations are organized by union across the United States. As for female drivers, we're probably about 50-50. It's actually a company push of ours to increase the amount of participation in not just frontline, but all the way up through our leadership. I think 75% of our executive team is female. So that's a push as a company. I do want to give you comfort that the 90 days is just the minimum requirements of the law under the California State Labor Code 1070. We plan to exceed that. We want to hire as many of the current workforce as possible and keep them. Their experience here in this county is important, and it's critical to the success for the passengers after the transition. So we want to welcome, if we are selected, we want to welcome with open arms all of the employees, and their pay and benefits will continue forward under the same union for the folks that are organized. So I wanted to give you that comfort. We really want to bring as many of the current workforce on as possible.
Is your business local? That was another question that I had asked.
Sure. So we have 73 contracts in the state of California. Our headquarters is in Chicago, Illinois. Across the United States, we have 400 contracts across the US. But there's 73 agencies just like MST that have hired us across the state of California.
Thank you.
And any other questions from directors while he's at the podium and
Yeah.
Director Smith?
Yeah, thank you, David, for the question. I think you've answered most of mine, but I wanted to know a little bit more about what other transit agencies close to us have you worked with? And what's your management team location look like once this, if the award is given to your company? What does that management team on site look like?
Sure.
What's the highest rank of that person that will be interfacing with our leadership team here, and where will their office be?
Sure, great questions. So nearby, we actually are currently starting up with San Benito and Hollister. We operate with Samtrans in the Bay Area, with East Bay Paratransit, with San Francisco Muni, and I could go on. We could continue all the way up the state and go down the state as well. I think south of us in San Luis Obispo is our next client going southward. Going east, we're over in Lodi, Modesto. We have a pretty significant presence in the surrounding area that we have here. As for our leadership team, we actually break our company up into 6 regions for support. And Carmen Alba is our Senior Vice President for the Northwest region. She lives in Sacramento, so a short drive away. And that's where her home office is based. Our local leadership team will be based right here in your facility for MST. And we have a lot of support in drivable distance, including myself, Christina, who'll be the account manager, and a lot of Carmen's support team. We're within very close driving distance of you.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Any other directors at this time?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. With that, does that conclude your report at this
That's it.
time?
Yes.
Okay. So with that, I'm gonna go ahead and open this up to the public for public comment. Public comment is open.
I see anyone online seeking to speak?
Okay, I think we have someone in the room. Jim, welcome.
Thank you. And I just want to say that I'm public transit dependent, and I'm working as a Lutheran missionary in my native Solano County. So I'm going back and forth between Fairfield and Salinas 3 times a week. And I've had a lot of experience with several of the transit systems in the Bay Area that are connected with TransDev, and the service has been excellent.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. It's a great comment.
Just want to preface, I didn't ask him to say that.
We've ridden the San Jose parking lot shuttle from the parking lots to the air terminals. Those are TransDev operated, actually. Noticed that on a recent trip and interviewed the driver. Without them knowing who I was.
So you're recruiting.
I would have been, but no, they weren't interested in that. I just wanted to know about what they thought about things, so.
Good. Okay. Well, with that, I'm gonna go ahead and close public comment.
Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
So motion by Labar, there
Labar.
were multiple seconds. Who wants to take it?
Make a more.
I heard Ed Smith was
Labar.
closest to me.
Since well, I'm Emilio, so I think I rank on Mr. Smith there.
Joe is
Starts
full
with
of vinegar
it starts with
today.
A.
I will let you all.
I'll take the second.
Joe can take a second as a senior to the
With that, we do have a first and a second, and all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? That motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we'll move on to 6.2 City of Greenfield Bus Stop Construction. We have staff report with Steve Bruno, purchasing agent, and Vince Dang, project management coordinator. Let I see. Hello.
Good morning, board. Vince Dang, project management coordinator. Here today to present the Greenfield South County construction project. I've held the project manager role on this since 2022. Through a bunch of planning efforts with the city. We've finally, decided on a route, put out the IFB for design. And now I'm coming back here for the last of the 4 circulators, to recommend that you authorize the contract for construction to F. LaDuca Company. If you authorize a contract, I think we should be able to get them under contract in the next couple of weeks and hopefully start construction and finish, and have the circulator route in service hopefully by the next service change.
Okay, thank you. Directors, any questions or comments?
I don't have questions. I just want to share a little bit about what our residents are expressing, because they, as you guys saw, they came here to our meeting and they continue to show up to our city council meetings about the circulars. I do want to thank the staff for being so diligent and persistent with working with our challenges with our city staff, and I know there was turnaround and it caused delays. So thank you for your patience and getting everything to this point where we're finally gonna have this happen. But I do want to, a conversation for another day, but to just put it out there about when those residents came, there was mention of perhaps having some kind of a supplemental service for South County cities, or that's been something staff has talked about as a possible or potential, or just something to discuss, because our residents are pretty much begging for the door-to-door service to remain. And so that's something that I just would like to explore for our residents moving forward, if we could, as a supplement to the circulars. The other concern that came up, and I know that Michelle is aware of this because she presented at our city meeting, is that the current circulars, there isn't going to be a stop at our shopping center, which would, obviously be one of the biggest areas of need for people to get to shopping, to the only pharmacy in town, and there's no stop there at all. So that's a concern, because if there was, then that would definitely increase ridership. But with that not being there, I think that is an area that is, it's a significant
Concern.
yeah, concern. Thank you, to not have a stop there. So these are just issues that I want to make sure are on our radar, and that maybe we could start to look for solutions on those.
For your board, on page 143 and 144, you see some comments that were presented at our, I think it was our December board meeting. And yes, December board meeting. And we continue to work with both city staff, the city of Greenfield, and do community outreach. There is some, I think, confusion about what this does and doesn't do. The MST rides program is still available, and staff does want to actively work on a new model for our Measure Q taxi services for seniors, veterans, persons with disabilities, that would, I think, meet the needs of most of the people that have been making comments, but we just currently have not been able to, the market hasn't presented an opportunity or a willing taxi cab company to take that business on. So we're looking at other models that might induce some service to these communities, because currently South County communities do not have access to Measure Q taxi vouchers, because there are no taxi companies that are, the market doesn't make it attractive for them to want to do business there at this point. So we're going to try to find some other models that might work, that should hopefully meet some of those concerns, while also promoting the MST rides program as an alternative for door-to-door services available in, especially in Greenfield, where there's been a lot of comment.
Just one question, and I didn't realize, so it's not going to the shopping center?
I'm going to have to get Michelle up here there, if you can provide some details as to you know, we've worked with the city staff for over 2 years on
Oh,
this.
so this
and,
was,
Yes, when it was
staff.
like a, yeah, an oversight.
And there's been changes in staff. And yeah, at some point, we need to put something in place and get it going.
Sure. So the comment is related to the Rancho San Miguel Market Shopping
Yes.
Center. So MST is moving away from going into shopping centers and private parking lots and driveways. So we don't have plans to serve that with the fixed route at this time. It is the location on Walnut Avenue on the public road is in a future phase of our fixed route, and that bus stop would be put in at the time the city does the road widening project. That was our understanding with city staff. So we would still serve the shopping center in the future once the city's road accommodates a bus stop.
Right, yeah, that was a conversation that we had after the presentation, because that was highlighted in the meeting that there isn't a stop there right now, but yeah, it would not be stopping in that vicinity.
Oh, God, and so I'm just gonna have to, I would say how, I know that little area, there's actually a couple little different entrances into that shopping center. One is past where that pizza shop used to be, which isn't used as much. And that is the pharmacy. When I lived in Greenfield, that is where I had to get everything. And in King City, we go right down Broadway by all of our stores. We hit our shopping center right on the outskirts, I believe. I know you don't go in, but it seems like you could find some kind of accommodation short term until that project comes into place. At least pull off and then pull right back onto Walnut.
Our safety and routing
Yeah.
people, as Michelle mentioned, going into private parking lots and where cars are pulling in and out does present a real safety issue for us.
I definitely
And
trust
so we're gonna
staff.
have to, we'll have to take a look and see if there's some short-term balancing act that we can do. But as I mentioned, we're going to continue working with city staff and the residents to find some accommodation for them. It's just the roads and the way these cities have been developed aren't always as easy for transit to operate safely, and that is our concern.
No, and Walnut is a tough road, and I know staff always does their best to find that. It's just, right, on the local side, that's our source of revenue really comes from sales tax.
Right.
That's the bulk of it, and getting people into local shopping centers is huge, but I know Greenville has a great rep, so that'll take care of that.
We will continue to investigate this to see if there's a creative way to accommodate a short-term solution, if at all.
Director.
Yeah, just a question. Well, anybody who qualifies for the rights, nothing changes it. They can still go to, they will be dropped off at stores.
Right.
And picked up right at the door.
Correct.
Okay, so that's, and I know that's not everybody, but at least that's a people who.
And this is a little, I mean, the item before you is awarding a construction contract.
Yeah, I know.
So, before the attorney jumps in.
Okay.
It's still on point.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Okay. Yes.
I know that is for construction, but is there any way that we can see that the route that is taking? Because construction, like I can think of the corner between Walnut and El Camino Real. That is the closest that you could probably get to the shopping center. But is that?
We can share that with you. It was shared at the meeting before you came on our board.
Okay.
And it's been a 2-year process getting to where we are today. So we've been working a long time on getting the routing and the stops in Greenfield put together.
Yeah, it's been in the works, and I understand that as well, because I have to talk to the residents and explain that this, many decisions have been passed to make this happen. But I think we can still recognize that there's still, an area that can be improved within the route, and that there's still a need even when the circulars come in. So that's what I just hope we look at moving forward, but it sounds like we're all on the same page about that.
Okay. Any other directors at this time before I take this out to the public? And not seeing any, we'll go ahead and open that public comment. Public comment is open. And I am not seeing any anyone from the public, so we'll go ahead and close public comment and bring it back to the board for further direction and action. So we have a motion for approval and a second. All
Motion
those in
from Rodriguez, second from Alejo. For the record.
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes, abstention, motion carries. Thank you. We will go ahead and move on to the next item, 6.3, and this is City of Pacific Grove Bus Stop Construction, page 89 in your packet. And with this, we have Steve Bruno, and Steve is going to give us a staff report.
Actually, I think Vince is gonna take care of that, Steve.
Oh,
It's yeah, Vince Dang, project manager coordinator again. This is a presentation to recommend that you authorize Granite Rock Company for the bus stop construction Pacific Grove. As you know, with part of the Better Bus Network, we as a organization and as the board decided we were going to shift a little bit of our service to where it's needed most. So that drew away some of the service from Pacific Grove. But I believe it was Chair Emilio and the mayor asked that we looked at, expanding a little service a little bit. So we took an approach to meet with the city staff and we decided to break it up into 3 different phases. We completed phase 1 in 2023. This is the contract to complete phase 2 of that work. We issued the IFB in December 24, and if there are any other questions, hopefully I can answer those.
okay. Questions from the directors or comments?
I have a question.
Joe?
What doesn't say the location where the work is going to be done?
So mainly going to be on Pine Avenue. We'll also have a stop right near Candy Cane Lane. I don't know, I can't remember the name of the street. And then there's a 5th stop. Well, actually, no, I'm sorry. There's 4 on Pine, and then the last one on near Candy Cane Lane.
Thank you.
Any other directors? And if not, we'll go ahead and open this up to the public. Public comment is open. And I am not seeing anyone from the public, so I'll go ahead and close public comment. So there is a staff recommendation to authorize the general manager CEO to enter into a contract with Granite Rock for the bus stop construction in the city of Pacific Grove in the amount of $211,180. And with that, is there a motion for approval?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Well, second.
Smith and Elizabeth.
Since I grew up, sorry.
Okay. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any noes? Any abstentions? Motion carries. We'll move on to item 7, reports and information items. And thank you for the report, Vince, also for doing the staff reports. The board will receive these files and reports which do not require action by the board. 7.1, did we want to go into any of these?
No, I'm happy to answer any questions. We did point out in the operations committee, and we had a presentation from our safety and risk manager that we had 0 preventable accidents in the month of December, which is a great achievement on the part of our drivers. And that we also recently had a class of 9 coach operators started on a week ago today. So if you look at that last page of the report, you see that we're down about 10 operators, and this class will get us starting to get caught up again. So that concludes the highlights, I think, of the items that you'll find of interest in the report. If there's anything else other than, ridership continues to grow, which is a good thing. Be happy to answer any questions.
Yeah, thank you. On that topic of ridership, I was curious to know if you could, each month it seems like it is increasing. And so is there anything, obviously, we have the Better Bus Network, is it just people catching on to the Better Bus Network? Is it like, what do you attribute that increase, continued increase to?
Well, the Better Bus Network, thoughtfully, put service where it's needed the most, made it faster in those areas, and improve frequency in some areas. And those are the recipes for growing transit. And you see the economy coming back. And you've seen attendance, enrollments at our local colleges have increased substantially in the past year. That's in our free pass program with Hartnell, Monterey Peninsula College, and CSUMB, I think is helping to grow that ridership as well. So just it's a combination of things, but I think it's really the design of the Better Bus Network and your board's direction on taking the advice of our consultants and staff to work where we could to make transit faster and more frequent and more reliable. And it's having the anticipated impact. So it's great when a plan comes together. So, and this is the same recipe that we hope we'll see with the surf, making it faster, more reliable, results in more ridership. So that's more to come there.
Thank you.
Just a comment, even this morning in the San Jose Emergency News says the BART ridership is going up. So it might be
I'm seeing that
which is good news.
statewide, that
Yes.
people are returning to transit and yeah.
Thank you.
Anyone else? No. Well, then we'll go ahead and move on to board reports, comments, and referrals. 8.1. And reports on meetings attended by board members. All this, anyone? So I think I
if
turned mine in already.
Yeah, I believe we have all of the reports are included as attachments for both staff and board members who have attended conferences in the past 2 months.
Okay. And board member comments and announcements.
Madam Chair. Mr. Sador, like when people like Mr. Fink come to the public or to this board, what do they get answers to their questions?
We reach out directly to them under public comments. We're not under the Brown Act, not able to engage in a back and forth. The comments that we heard from Mr. Fink are consistent with past comments that we've received.
Thank you.
Anyone else? And if not, there is the general council performance evaluation.
Yeah, just an announcement, periodically, your board does an evaluation regarding general counsel's performance. We have it out for you today. We can also send you a PDF form as well if you'd rather do it electronically, but we have it here in paper format. And Kelly is motioning to me.
The electronic is gonna come through as Survey Monkey.
Oh, that's right. We're going to do it different this year. Rather than a fillable PDF or a PDF, we are going to attempt to use Survey Monkey for those who are want to just click and attach. That maybe easier for some. If not, you still have the paper version available to you as well. So thank you for reminding me about the Survey Monkey.
And did we have it time?
We want to have those back at the end of, let's see, I believe in the memo. What's that? Yeah, February 28th. Remember, it was at the end of the month. So yeah, we don't want to give you too much time. Otherwise. So 2 weeks.
Okay. And board member referrals for future agendas at this time.
Yeah, this is for you all to direct us to bring something back. If there's something you'd like to, what I heard is a discussion about Greenfield bus stop at the shopping center. And we'll continue to bring that up back when we have something new to report.
Okay. All right. Very good. With that, the monthly board for December 2024 meeting can be viewed online, and there is a link there. And we'll go ahead and move on to the next item, item 10. This is closed session. At this time, the board members, any of the member of the public may address the board of directors on any items during closed session. There is a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker, and the board will not respond, may not respond immediately to any public comments presented. Any actions taken during closed session will be reported out when we go back into open session. There are 2 items on the in closed session, and one is to conference with Monterey Salinas Transit and STU labor contract. The persons representing MST will be Mike Laredo and Kelly Helpon. And the second item will be to conference with real negotiators, government code 54956-8, APN 031-201-013-000. This property is located at the northwest corner of Engine Road and Engine Parkway, Marina, California. And the MST negotiators are Carl Sidoric, General Manager, CEO, and under the negotiations, it will be price in terms of sale. So with that, I will go ahead and open up public comment if anyone is interested on any items on closed session that was mentioned. So public comment is open.
Seeing none online, seeing no one in the room.
Okay, well, with that, we'll close public comment and we will excuse the public. We will return and announce any actions taken. Thank you for your participation and for being here, and have a great, happy Monday, the rest of the day.
I'm not anticipating this to be more than a half hour.
Yeah, I didn't want to carry too long.
Marianne Chairs. Yeah.
We need to report out first,
Yeah,
and then while Michael's reporting out, I'll get the video queued up.
okay.
Does it have the circus soundtrack on it? It does not. It has Con Crusher Blue.
That's how it felt.
When you adjourn the meeting, the video will start.
Okay.
Through the magic of our.
Where's the popcorn?
You're not gonna have time for popcorn. It's 2 minutes.
Okay.
And do we have pretty much everybody who's gonna be here?
I don't think that's a
Whoever wants
quorum.
to come in, can come in,
Okay.
we can report out
Yeah.
and then adjourn.
Okay. We are re-adjourning back into open session. And I will have our legal Michael. Sorry, I'm a little cloudy today. Michael will report out any action taken during the closed session.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, the board did meet in closed session on 2 items. First item, conference with the MST labor negotiators for the ETU labor contract. This is under government code section 54957.6. The board did meet and provide direction to open negotiations with its union for the contract that's expiring in September 30th this year. The second item, this is conference with real property negotiators under government code section 54956.8. This is regarding a property located at APN number 031-201-013-000. In that meeting, the board did provide general direction to the general manager to pursue negotiations for price and terms of sale.
Okay,
And
thank
that
you.
concludes my report.
Thank you, sir. With that, we'll move on to item 11, and that is, this meeting is now adjourned. The next scheduled meeting will be